Welcome everyone. Today in this video we're going to take a look at a couple of these ATFL box targets. They're a heck of a lot of fun out of the box, but honestly if you're really working on training yourself for field target and to become a better shooter, this 1.5-inch hole is really big. And getting used to having an 1.5-inch hole when we've got maniacal match directors out there who are trying to get us to shoot ever smaller apertures. I'm going to show you a really unique way to change this with no metal work at all. We're going to use some large washers, and these are very, very heavy. These washers are not going to distort over time, but they can be bonded in place on these targets. And in this look, all I'm going to do is scuff up the powder coat and bond to the powder coat just to see how they hold up. But a better way to do this would be to take these, at least in the area where the bond is, to take this right down to bare metal. But we're going to test this and see how it works. And that brings us to the all-important glue. I think this makes a big difference. This is Sikaflex. This is a polyurethane based adhesive and sealant that's actually meant for the marine industry. This stuff is ridiculous. You want to take some precautions here, because if you get this on your skin, you're literally going to have to wait for it to wear off. There's no solvent that's going to take this off of you. And any solvent that does, you probably don't want it touching your skin. So be sure that when you're working with this, you work very cleanly. Don't get it on you, not because it's toxic or anything, but because you will not get it off your skin. It's going to be on there for a while. Unless you work really hard, then you might get it off. But anyway, this is the Sikaflex 291. There's also some more general versions of this for like construction adhesive and concrete work. But this one is the one I picked for getting the best bond for these metal washers on the targets. And then at the end, we're going to just get them all the same color by using some of this Fusion Krylon Satin Black spray paint. I'll put as many links as I can to all of this stuff in the description and maybe the pinned comment so that you can find them easily. But the reason for this adhesive is because it's so resilient. If you were to go with an adhesive like cyanoacrylate, which is like super glue, or a really strong epoxy, the problem is every time you get an impact in here, those impacts could possibly create microfractures at the bond line. And eventually with enough impacts, it's going to finally fracture and fall off. This adhesive stays kind of, I don't want to say it cures completely, but it's got give to it. It's flexible. It's going to be able to absorb that impact, radiate the energy away, and not have it impact the bond line. That's what makes this such a great choice. Now, buying it in the 3 fluid ounce, not the most economical. For like 50 cents more, you can get a 10-ounce tube. But my experience with Sikaflex is that it does not stay in the tube well. Once you pop the seal, you don't have much time. You got a couple of months. So unless you're planning on using a whole 10-ounce tube, it just seems like kind of a waste. So that's why I got the smaller one. I just wanted to glue some of these up and see how they do. And we're going to be doing one with a 1-inch aperture and one with a 1/2-inch aperture. So let's get started and get this party started. The first thing we're going to do, I think I'm going to go with the 1/2-inch on the gopher here. And what I'm going to do is look at this from the back, get it lined up pretty good. It doesn't really have to be centered. It doesn't matter. Hitting this paddle is hitting the paddle. It's going to take it down. But for this one, I'm going to center it. And I'm just going to give myself Well, actually, my silver Sharpie has pretty much dried out, but I got enough of a line there, I think, that I can use to just abrade the paint a little bit, or powder coat, whatever it is. So that's what we're going to do. I got just a flap wheel on my Dremel here, nothing crazy. And I'm also going to do the same thing where the bond line is on the washer. I don't want to go through the zinc. I want the zinc to stay intact, but I just want some tooth for the adhesive. That should do. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take a clean, fresh paper towel, put some pure isopropyl on it, and I'm going to clean both bond surfaces with that. Again, all of this stuff is brand new out of the box, so it's already pretty clean, but I just want to make sure there's no extra stuff in the way. All right, so we've got this guy here. We're going to wait for that alcohol to flash off. And we're going to open up our Sikaflex while it's doing that. I want a nice angular cut on the tip. If you do get the 3-ounce tube of Sikaflex, you'll notice there's a collar on the nozzle here, and this cap does have a cutter. So what you want to do is take the collar off, set it aside, and then you can take this cap, come down, and it will cut the tube open for you, so you don't have to dirty your tools like I did earlier. I didn't notice that until I actually was getting ready to take the nozzle off and put this away. But yeah, once you do that, then you can, I don't recommend storing this with the nozzle on there. Go ahead and put that cap on there and seal it up good, and you might have this for another day. Now you can almost see the scuff around there. Now, if I was smart, I would have some nitrile gloves on right now, because I just know I'm going to get some of this crap on me. Now, what's interesting about the Sikaflex as an adhesive, it's got pretty low shrinkage. This actually cures by its reaction with atmospheric moisture. Here we go. Now we're just going to let that sit for about 24 hours. I think it'll cure much quicker than that, but I don't want to tempt fate. I want to make sure I get the best bond possible before I start whacking this with a lot of energy, because you know I'm going to miss on a target that small. But that should work pretty darn well, especially once this is all black. And then we get the zombie up here, and we're going to give him the same treatment, but we're going to use the larger 1-inch washer on this guy. And let's use the useless marker again. Just to give me a little bit of a scuff on that paint for a line. That'll work. And then we're going to do the same thing with scuffing these up. We're going to hit the washer as well. Again, remember, you're not trying to take the zinc off. You're just trying to scuff it. Okay, I'm going to turn a fresh side on my paper towel. And clean both surfaces again. There we have it. No metal work, and we've got a new aperture on here, a 1-inch, and what should be a very, very resilient bond to pellet strikes when we miss. So we're going to move on to painting these guys once they're dry, and then we'll be ready to take these out and test them. Okay, friends, just going to get a little coat of paint on these guys to see where I'm hitting, and it makes them look better, I think. This is not quite the same finish as what they had on there. It's a little bit glossier, but it does dry pretty good. And here we go. We're just going to shellac the crap out of these and see if we can get that bond line to fail. And I got to say, I was really happy with the performance of both the washers and the adhesive. I had no evidence that anything was failing anywhere. Yeah, I got to recoat these with another coat of paint in order to keep using them, but they held up super well mechanically. And you know, every now and then I do go ahead and hit the targets just because it was getting to me mentally to just continuously miss intentionally. So I did do some regular target strikes as well. But yeah, I had a ball doing this. This project came out super good. And again, I could have welded these and been done in a lot shorter time, or maybe about the same time. But I know a lot of people don't have welding equipment or welding skills, and I wanted to give you a solution that you can do anywhere. With a little bit of preparation and a little bit of patience, you can adjust your targets to make your shooting experience more challenging. Now, you all have an amazing week, and thanks for watching.